There's going to be no East and West teams in the All-Star game this year, but there's still going to be 12 All-Stars from each conference. The East and the West were both pretty hard to come up with for the opposite reason. The East because they didn't have enough All-Stars, and the West because they had too many. In the offseason, 4 2017 All-Stars from the East moved to the West, and none moved to the East in return. So based on last year, we now have 8 East All-Stars and 16 West All-Stars, if that makes any sense. But let's get started with the East. So we're still going to name the starters and the bench as usual. So the starting point guard from the Eastern Conference will be Kyrie Irving. No surprise, compared to the other point guards coming out of the East, there's not too much competition. Especially since at the time of making this video, Kyrie's led Boston to 9 straight wins already. The starting shooting guard for the Eastern Conference will be, for the first time ever, Bradley Beal. 10 games through the season so far, he's averaging almost 26 points a game. I think he'll keep up this play for the rest of the season too. I mean, especially in the East. Starting small forward, no surprise, LeBron. No competition, I think he'll be named captain of one of the teams too. Starting power forward, again, no competition. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, the All-Star game doesn't really have positions anymore, but it's crazy that Giannis has actually been playing at power forward during the season. And that he's leading the league in points. And that he plays every position. And that he's only 22 years old. Starting center of the Eastern Conference. By the way, there was no starting centers on the East All-Stars last year, but I have 2 making it this year, with the starter being Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, come on, it's another no contest. He's averaging 30 points a game so far. Now for the bench. So this is where it got a little hard, naming 3 new All-Stars. For point guards, Kemba Walker and John Wall are going to lead their teams to the playoffs while averaging over 20 points a game, so I have no doubt that they'll make it this year. A new All-Star in the East this year will be Victor Oladipo, surprisingly picking up where Paul George left off and averaging 23 points a game so far. And as always, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, he makes it every year. For power forwards, I think we're definitely looking at Kevin Love again, even though I feel he could get lost in all the talent on Cleveland. Next, I'm thinking Andre Drummond will make the All-Star team for the first time this year. He's fixed his free throws, shockingly, and the Pistons are second in the East. If they can keep up the pace they're on, then at least one player from the Pistons has to become an All-Star, and I feel like it'll be Drummond. That leaves one spot on the East. I'm thinking Kyle Lowry or Aaron Gordon. Don't you roast my picks either, because I could give you the most generic, boring predictions ever, but you gotta shake it up sometimes.
Okay.
But Aaron Gordon's been shooting great from the 3 this year, and oh yeah, the Magic are first in the East through the first 10 games. They won't keep up that pace, but I think they'll make the playoffs, and I think Aaron Gordon can continue to average near 20 a game this season. But we'll see how Lowry does this year. Now on to the West. I don't think there's much arguing with the West All-Star starters. Starting point guard, Stephen Curry. Starting shooting guard, I won't even say it. And there's no true competition for starting small forward either, and captain of the other team, Kevin Durant. Starting power forward has a few options, but we're actually going to go with Kawhi Leonard instead of Anthony Davis, since Kawhi is actually going to be winning. And DeMarcus Cousins for starting center, because he's got 28 a game and about 14 rebounds per game so far. On the horrible Pelicans, he'll keep it up all year. Coming off the bench, we have, no surprise, Russell Westbrook. And for the first time in 3 years, Damian Lillard. I mean, I have no idea how Lillard didn't make the All-Star game last year. He averaged 27 points a game, but he's on the same pace this year, so I'll kick a monkey if he doesn't make it again. And there's no doubt that Anthony Davis will make the All-Star game. Even though the Pelicans suck, he's still averaging 27 points and 12 rebounds a game. Power forward and center in my mind will be Blake Griffin, who's the new Clippers leader, and a lock for backup center is Karl Anthony Towns. Another first-time All-Star who's averaging 25 a game right now. I got no doubt in my mind he'll make his first All-Star game this year. And now this is where things get a little tricky. We have 2 spots left, but we have Paul George, Klay Thompson, Carmelo Anthony, and Draymond Green. This is pretty tough, but I think we'll take one from the Thunder and one from the Warriors. I mean, I guess we'll go with Draymond over Klay, only since he won Defensive Player last year. And between Melo and Paul George, I'll say Paul George. This will be the first time in like 30 years that Melo hasn't made the All-Star team. But go ahead, roast my picks. But there's no denying the fact that I got at least 2 players right on this list. But for real, if you disagree, comment who you take out of my list and who deserves their spot. There's so many Western Conference All-Stars, so at least a couple have to be left out, no matter how you go with it. And I didn't even mention Jimmy Butler. And I really wanted to add another part of this video, going through who I think LeBron and Kevin Durant will pick on their team, but I really have no idea how that'll go. I don't know if they're going to pick their friends, I don't know who they're friends with, really, or I don't know if they'll go to pick the best players. But I mean, I think that's going to be really interesting to see during the All-Star game, so if you got any predictions for that, definitely comment them, because I have no idea how that'll go. But these were my 2018 All-Star predictions after the first 10 games of the season. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.